If I were to demonstrate full range of motion on a bench press here, I'd be showing you the proper technique for that movement, but I wouldn't be showing you how to fully stretch the pecs, as that would require a cambered bar or dumbbells. But this video, we're going to focus on a full range of motion for a muscle, which I always like to say, a full stretch and a full contraction during a lift. And I recommend you aim for that on all your exercises if you can. But that doesn't mean avoiding the bench press and only doing dumbbell work. But if you're using dumbbells, you should be using them to get an additional benefits that come with them. Otherwise, you're just performing a variation of a lift with no additional benefit. For this example, we're going to look at triceps and chest exercises. The first movement is an overhead tricep extension, which is one of the only exercises that you can fully stretch and fully contract the triceps due to the elbow being overhead. As I lower the dumbbells, I'm going down as far as my triceps will allow. Any further, and the only thing that would move would be my shoulders. And at this point in the bottom position, if I were to hold that dumbbell, I'd feel a deep stretch in the triceps, almost exactly like you would feel doing a hamstring stretch or a quadricep stretch. And if you're performing a full range of motion and a full stretch and full contraction, every rep you should feel that stretch under a load. At the top of this movement, I'm fully extending my triceps, and yes, I'm locking out my elbows. Why? Because that lockout is where the triceps are fully contracted. This is different than locking out on a squat or a leg press because of the position I'm holding the dumbbell, being that it's behind my head and not directly over. When I lock out the triceps, that slight angle that the dumbbell is behind my head, it's keeping the tension on the muscles and not on the joint. If I were to move the dumbbell in front of my head, then my elbows and shoulders would support the weight, taking the tension off the triceps during the lockout. We don't want that. So in this exercise, at any point in the lift, the tension is on the triceps, and that's exactly what we want. The next movement is a dumbbell fly, which is one of the most common exercises that I see done with extremely poor range of motion. And most people overstress the shoulders, the rotator cuff, and even the biceps on this movement. The key with this exercise is to bend the elbows, which allows me to pull my pecs as far back as they can stretch, while taking all the stress off the rotator cuff and the biceps. Basically, I'm bending my elbow and stretching my pecs as far as they go. Again, the sensation is just like doing a hamstring or a quad stretch here. From there, I'm bringing the dumbbells together at the top by moving the arms across the body, squeezing the pecs all the way at the top. When the muscle is fully contracted, you can actually see the striations on the muscle, which you can see faintly here. If I was a bit leaner, they would be much more visible. But regardless, that contraction at the top is where you see the pecs squeezing fully. When you train like this on any movement, you can be sure to expect you'll lift a bit lighter. But the target muscle will always feel more fatigued at the end of the set, even with the lighter weights. And it's important to understand that a full range of motion is not just about moving weights as far as you can, as that can promote bad form, but it's about training the muscle through its full range of motion safely. This will result in much more muscle mass, but also better mobility.